already happened in the first half, and the acceptance speeches have been on fire. Who got shouted out the most? Let's look at the numbers. All right, cast and crew are leading the way with 11 mentions. Moms are holding strong with 3 shout-outs. God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions. No surprise in this godless town.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into something pretty intense today, the wildfires that are just ripping through the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, it's been all over the news.
Over 130,000 people have had to evacuate, and we're talking about like major landmarks being threatened.
The Dolby Theater.
Yeah, exactly. Home of the Oscars. So you sent over some firsthand accounts, some public reactions.
I did.
And it's really interesting because it seems like some people are seeing these fires as like more than just a natural disaster.
Right.
Like there's this whole other layer of speculation about divine judgment or something.
Especially because of the timing, you know?
Yeah, so soon after the Golden Globes.
Exactly.
It's wild.
It is fascinating, though, isn't it, how people try to make sense of these events?
Totally.
Especially when it involves a place like Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like it has so much cultural weight attached to it.
Yeah, and it's almost like a reminder that disasters aren't just physical events.
Right.
They trigger this whole wave of psychological and even spiritual responses.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you sent over this one clip that really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah.
It was from a fireman talking about how vulnerable Los Angeles is to fire.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Like, it's just a matter of time before the right conditions come together.
It's eerie, especially now.
Let's actually hear that clip.
Okay, yeah.
I talked to a fireman once. He was telling me, dude, one day it's just going to be the right wind and fire is going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean and there's not a thing we can do about it.
Like chills after this chilling.
And then you have this other clip which is like so intense. It captures the speed and the power of this fire.
Oh, yeah. That one's hard to listen to.
It's like someone's literally driving through hell.
It really gives you a sense of the fear and chaos.
Should we hear it?
Yeah, let's go for it. People are rushing to escape the Hollywood Hills. A brand new fire exploded down the Hollywood Hills, making a beeline for the iconic heart of the entertainment industry. It is like driving through hell itself down here. Literally through hell.
Whoa.
Whoa. That description, driving through hell.
That's incredibly vivid.
It really is. It's like a metaphor, but it also highlights the very real terror people are experiencing.
Yeah, and when you look at what's happening in California, it's not surprising.
I mean, they're so fire prone.
Right. You have these prolonged dry conditions, then you've got the Santa Ana winds.
Funneling hot, dry air down from the mountains.
And then you add human activity into the mix, which unfortunately can spark these infernos.
It's like a recipe for disaster.
It is. And as we're seeing, when those conditions align, the fires spread incredibly fast.
And with so much power.
It's frightening.
And, you know, you mentioned human activity possibly playing a role, and it's hard to ignore the timing of these fires.
Right.
They erupted just days after the Golden Globes, which, for those who might not know, is this massive Hollywood event.
Huge. And there was some pretty strong commentary at the ceremony about God being ignored.
Yeah, or even mocked.
Right, by the entertainment industry.
Some people were not happy.
You even included a few clips that really capture this sentiment.
I did.
Should we hear those?
Yeah, let's give them a listen.
You were incredible in Dune, woke up for all of your scenes. What a year you've had. Glenn, you go. That was before moms are holding strong with 3 shout-outs. God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions. Mocking God and using his name as a C word is nothing new for Hollywood. So you have all these celebrities being celebrated.
Right.
And shout-outs to moms.
Mm-hmm.
And then this commentary about God's absence from the conversation.
It definitely got people talking.
It's like a stark contrast.
Totally. And it definitely fuels this idea that maybe these fires aren't just a coincidence.
Yeah, like there's a deeper meaning.
Right. We have to remember that for centuries, humans have looked to natural events for signs and symbols.
Trying to find meaning in chaos.
Exactly. And when a disaster hits a place like Hollywood,
which some see as representing a certain set of values,
it's almost inevitable that people will start asking about divine judgment.
Right. It's like the fires are adding this whole other layer of meaning to everything.
Absolutely.
And you actually sent over some interviews with people who were directly impacted by the fires.
Yeah.
And their reactions they're really something.
They are. They give us a glimpse into the human side of all of this.
beyond just the headlines.
Beyond the statistics.
It's really powerful. Like there's this one clip where someone's asked what they think could quickly fix the fire problem.
Okay.
And they say rain.
Rain. Yeah, it seems obvious, right?
Should we hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
What would fix the fire problem really quick? Any idea? I'm not sure. I don't really know the answer. What about rain? I didn't think about that. Rain would certainly help. Yes, definitely. Yes. And they actually go on to say that they think God's in charge of the rain.
Oh, wow.
Let's hear that.
Okay.
Who's in charge of the rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. God, I get God. And then they're asked, like, why they think God's withholding rain from Hollywood.
Oh, interesting.
And they seem to really struggle with that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Why do you think he's withholding rain from Hollywood at the moment? I'm not sure. I don't know God's plans.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
It is.
Like, it makes you think about how people grapple with these big questions.
Especially in the face of something as destructive as these fires.
Right. You also included some clips where people are directly asked if they believe God is judging Hollywood.
Yeah, I wanted to get a sense of what people were really thinking.
It's fascinating. Some people seem to agree.
Right.
Like this person.
Okay.
Do you think God is judging Hollywood? I've had that thought, and I'm not too sure, though.
Yeah.
And this was pretty straightforward.
Okay, let's hear it.
Do you think God is judging Hollywood?
Absolutely. While others are saying that Hollywood isn't the only one being judged.
Interesting.
Like this person right here. Yeah.
Do you think God is happy with Hollywood?
No.
No, but I don't think it's just Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like they're broadening the scope of who might be subject to judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see how those opinions differ.
It really is. It reflects this broader societal debate, right?
It's about the role of faith and morality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially in times of crisis.
Yeah, and it's like this idea that God might intervene in human affairs, either to reward or to punish.
Right. It's a powerful concept.
Really powerful. And it resonates with a lot of people.
It does.
It speaks to this deep-seated human need to find meaning and purpose.
Absolutely, even in the face of suffering.
You also send over this really powerful clip where someone's asked if they think they'll go to heaven if they were to die that night.
Oh yeah, that one was intense.
Really intense.
It really gets to the heart of these existential questions.
Right, like it's right there on the surface. Let's hear it. You told our scout that you hoped you were going to heaven. You don't have knowledge that you are.
No, but I sure as heck hope so. And the interviewer even asks if they want to make sure they're going to heaven.
It's like they're offering a lifeline in that moment.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff.
You mind if I make sure you're going to heaven? I don't mind. And it really makes you think about the weight of these questions.
Yeah. Especially in a moment of crisis.
Right.
Like when everything feels uncertain.
Exactly. And then we hear them struggling with the idea of knowing for sure.
It's a real internal battle, isn't it?
So where are you going if you died tonight? I hope heaven. You're a good person.
I would say so, yeah. I think I would go to heaven. I would like to say so, but I mean, no one really knows.
Yeah.
There's like these fires, the destruction, the fear. It all just creates this context where those existential questions become much more immediate.
Absolutely. It's like the fires have stripped away everything else.
And you're left with these raw, fundamental questions.
Exactly. Questions of life and death, meaning and purpose.
And for those who believe in an afterlife, events like this can be a real wake-up call.
Yeah. It forces you to confront your actions and their potential consequences.
And it's interesting how the interviewer eventually shifts the conversation towards grace and redemption.
Right. Introducing the idea of Jesus dying for sins.
Like offering this person a path to salvation.
It's a common theme in a lot of religious traditions.
Yeah. The idea that even though we make mistakes, there's still hope for forgiveness.
Exactly. It's a message of comfort and solace.
Especially for those dealing with so much fear and uncertainty.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that it's not just organized religion that provides this comfort.
Right. People find solace in spirituality more broadly.
It's about seeking connection, searching for answers to those big questions.
About why we're here, what happens after we die.
Right. Those are the questions that haunt us.
And it's like in times of crisis, whether it's personal or something like these fires, it's natural to seek those answers.
It is. It's human nature.
And faith and spirituality can provide a framework for understanding it all.
A way to make sense of the chaos.
Like these fires, as destructive as they are, have also ignited a deeper conversation.
What about our values?
Our beliefs.
Our relationship with something bigger than ourselves?
Exactly.
You said it perfectly. These fires are a mirror.
Reflecting back our hopes, our fears.
Our beliefs about the world and our place in it.
It's profound.
Yeah.
And while we can analyze the science behind these fires,
Right, the dry conditions, the wind patterns,
the role of human activity,
we also have to acknowledge the human need to find meaning.
and for some people, that meaning is found through faith.
And the idea of divine judgment.
Yeah, it's like those fires are literally and figuratively just burning away the facade, you know?
Wow, yeah.
Forcing people to really confront these huge existential questions.
That's a really powerful way to put it.
And, you know, even if we don't personally subscribe to this whole idea of divine judgment, it's still so important to understand its historical and cultural significance.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this is a concept that's been around for centuries,
Yeah.
shaping how people interpret events,
Yeah.
you know,
Really?
and make sense of the world. And it's not hard to see how the timing of these fires right after the Golden Globes,
Yeah.
where some people saw Hollywood kind of turning its back on faith, it just adds fuel to that fire, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
It's like connecting the dots,
Yeah.
creating a narrative
Right.
that helps people reconcile what they're seeing with what they already believe.
We're wired for storytelling.
And in times of crisis,
Yeah.
those stories become even more potent.
They do.
So where do we go from here? You know?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
We've explored the science behind these fires,
Right.
the impact on those affected, the public reactions.
Right. Some tinged with this idea of divine judgment.
Exactly.
It's a lot to process.
It is. So what's the takeaway for our listeners?
You know, I think the key takeaway here is empathy
Empathy, yeah.
and understanding
Okay.
these fires. They've sparked a conversation.
That goes way beyond just the immediate crisis.
They've touched on such deeply held beliefs,
About faith,
morality.
our place in the universe.
It's a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, there's an opportunity for dialogue.
Connection.
Exactly.
It's like these fires are this giant mirror
I love that. A giant mirror.
reflecting back at us.
Yeah.
Our hopes, our fears, our beliefs,
Talk about the world.
and our place in it.
Beautifully said.
It's crazy.
It is.
And, you know, while we might not all agree on the meaning behind these events,
Right, of course.
it's crucial to recognize the human need to grapple with these big questions,
Yeah.
to search for answers,
In a world that can often feel so chaotic.
and unpredictable.
Exactly.
And maybe that shared search for meaning
Yeah.
is something that can ultimately bring us together.
I like that a lot.
Even in the midst of all the destruction and uncertainty.
You've hit on something really important there.
Yeah.
That power of shared experience, especially when facing adversity, it can foster this incredible sense of community.
And resilience.
It reminds us of our shared humanity.
And our interconnectedness.
It really does.
This has been a truly thought-provoking deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective
I'm so glad to hear that.
on these fires and the conversations they've started.
Me too.
It's been eye-opening.
If I can leave our listeners with one final thought to ponder,
Yeah.
in an age of climate change and increasingly frequent natural disasters, do you think it's inevitable that we'll continue to grapple with these questions of meaning,
Wow.
seeking explanations that go beyond just the scientific?
That's a powerful question.
It is, isn't it?
Definitely something to reflect on.
It is.
And on that note,
Yeah.
we've reached the end of our deep dive.
It's gone by so fast.
Stay curious, stay informed,
Always.
and as always, stay safe out there.